Hi all, it's PJ with Montevilla Sewing Centers, and I'm going to talk to you about hoop grip. This is hoop grip, and what it does is it adds a bit of extra grip to your hoop. What this is good for is if anytime you're hooping and you want to get a nice tight hooping, it helps with that, but it also helps if you're ever hooping anything that's very thin, because it does add a little tiny bit to your hoop, a little bit of depth. There's a little bit of depth to it, but because it's slightly tacky, it will help to grab onto your goods. So this is a really good idea, I think, generally just for all of your hoops. Anytime you're hooping anything thin, you're hooping something like water soluble, which you're only going to be hooping in some cases one layer of the water soluble. So it does really help to hoop that. Or if you're hooping something like, say, chiffon, that's very, very thin, it will help because it does, in fact, grip that. And here is how it works. It's going to go on the outside edge of your inside hoop. All right, so I only need my inside hoop, so I'm going to put my other hoop aside. Here's your hoop grip. This is what it looks like in the package. And when you open it up, I'll leave that there so you can see the label. When you open it up, there is a little piece of tape, and then there's, I'm going to call it a bubble for lack of a better term, right here. Let me get this up here so you can see. So it kind of looks like this when it's in the package. So you're going to separate this out. It's adhesive on one side, and the adhesive is against the yellow protective paper. And then the other side is tacky, which is what will help to grip your hoop. This is how I do this, and the way that I have found this easiest to do. Once you have that opened up, I'm just going to cut that so that it's straight, so that this end is straight. And I find this easiest to do on a flat table, like your cutting table. And you want to put the seam at the long end of your hoop. And if you just use the table as a guide, I find this the easiest way to do it, as opposed to holding the hoop up and trying to get it centered. So I'm just working my way around, and I'm peeling off the yellow protective plastic and just moving around my hoop and securing that down. And I'm trying to get the edge of this even with my mat, and then basically that way it's centered in your hoop. And just work your way around. Until you get back to where you started. And then what you want to do here is you basically want this to just meet up with where it started here. So I kind of just make a little mark with my thumb, and then I'm going to trim this off at that mark. And then position this. And you basically want this to just meet up. You really don't want it to overlap at all. And so you can see there, I have a very slight little gap. And then I just kind of go around and push it down to really secure it in place. This is, I'm going to call this semi-permanent. It will peel off eventually. And what I do is, after time, when it gets linty and it isn't grabbing as well as it did when it was brand new, just take a soapy sponge and run it around there, and then I just sit it on the counter to dry. It won't make it brand new, but it will certainly refresh it. And you can just leave it on there. It's not going to hurt your hoop at all. Eventually, after maybe a year or two, you will need to remove it because even running the soap across it and letting it dry, it will not refresh it. Eventually, you will have to redo it. But there's a ton of it in here. I want to say there's 9 yards according to the label, which will generally last you quite a long time. Now, here's a very important little tip. When you get done with this, you've got all this extra yellow. Do not cut this all the way down to where this starts. Leave yourself a little bit of a tab, because if you cut it straight off, it's really difficult to get that started again. So just little tip, leave yourself a little bit of that yellow. And then just wind this back up. I just put it back into the little plastic case. I put my cover in here so I know what that is, and I just store it that way in my drawer. So that's hoop grip and how to apply it.